What's up guys, my name is Tristan from the CPAPstore.ca. Great video for you today, best CPAP mask for 2025. Now before I jump into the masks, want to say you really need to clean your mask with mask wipes and mask soap, or some people use dish soap or whatever you want. Daily wipes, weekly soap. You want to keep your mask clean. Now, what type of mask do I recommend to keep clean? Let's jump into it. Now, the best full face mask is going to be the ResMed F40. This is generally what we recommend to anyone wanting a full face mask in the store for a few reasons. Number one, the headgear doesn't have any sharpness around. It's very soft, it's structured, but still has a little bit of flex. Overall, the headgear is good. It doesn't go, rubbing into the ear. It's not overly thick. It's, pretty good if you sweat hot, things are thin. It's everything you need, nothing you don't, and no real complaints about it. It does have magnetic clips, so those who want physical clips, you might have to find a different mask, but this guy here has magnetic clips. Now the cushion is where this mask comes really into its own because it has a full silicone-based cushion. As you can see, it's very squishy. It's not like the F30 or the F20, which has a hard shell, just completely soft and squishy. 360 rotation on the top tube there, as well as a 360 swivel and a 360 swivel down here on the tube, and quick access as well. Take that off and there you have your quiet air diffuser. So this mask is very, very quiet. You can actually take off the quiet air diffuser and clean the sides as well. I don't think you can buy these separately, so they are a bit of a bummer. You do have to replace this mask. That's one of the downsides. But honestly, all silicone from every mask wears out over time, so you have to replace every mask anyways. Okay, so it might be obvious already, but the reason why I picked this mask is because there is nothing wrong with it and it works really, really well for most people. Some full face masks only have holes up here, so they don't have a proper diffuser and they're really loud. Some only have, a static connection point and not all this 360, not all this rotation, so the tube gets twisted up. Some have too much plastic around the cushion, so they're a little more rigid, hard, and dig into the side of your face. Some have headgears with sharp, Velcro at the top, or areas where the clips fall off or whatever. This mask, the overall build, the overall structure, the overall ergonomics and design doesn't really have any faults. Now, in terms of fit, function, and comfort, it also excels in a lot of those categories as well. The one area that I say that this is not the best mask, if you're at a really high pressure, I find that this cushion kind of opens and like inflates a little bit too much, moves around too much on your face. Other than that, for people under pressure of maybe like 17 and below, this mask is a really, really good starting point. Top full face mask 2025. Now let's move on to nasal here. We're gonna be doing a front mounted nasal mask first. A classic, the Eson 2, okay? Eson 2's been around for quite a few years now. Still my favorite front mounted nasal mask for a few reasons. Number one, headgear again, very, very good, fits a lot of people. This stability bar here goes up, keeping all the straps away from your sensory input, away from your eyes, doesn't rub on the ears, stuff like that. Now the one downside with this mask, unlike the F40, it's not flawless. It does have a bit of sharp Velcro at the top adjustment here. So people who are bald do complain about this. We always recommend just putting a Band-Aid on top and then you're good to go. If you have hair, you're never gonna feel that at all. So I can't give the headgear a 10 out of 10, but it's a solid 8.5. Clips on the side, I don't mind clips. Like I said, I like magnets. I don't mind clips if they're good clips. The Fisher & Paykel clips are very good clips built for arthritis. So you can just actually just push them down and they disconnect and then you go obviously like a clip and pull it. So I'll try this side as well, right? Just push down there. So when you're wearing it, you can kind of just push down the straps and it'll come off almost as easy as magnets, okay? And then for the cushion has a roll fit technology, they call it. So you can see if I push this forward, there's a little bit of flex in the cushion. And that just allows you to not have too much over pressure. If you over tighten the mask on the bridge of your nose, kind of collapse this portion and then you can't breathe out your nose. So that helps with that. I like it because I have a nose that doesn't, there's not a lot of cartilage in my nose. It's hard to breathe out of my nose. Let's just leave it at that. Now the front here also has a diffuser again, but this one you can remove. So it's a removable diffuser. You have the holes if you have COPD or you just need a mask that's easy to exhale out of. You can have the straight holes. If you want something quieter, you can put this guy on and you have a super quiet mask. The Eson 2 is actually one of the quietest masks in the nasal category. And the reason why I picked it for the front mounted nasal category is because it is very similar to one of the most popular masks, the N20 by ResMed. Now it's more popular because a lot of people know the ResMed brand, but I think the Eson 2 is actually better than the N20 for the following reasons. Like, it has the roll fit technology, it has the top mounted band here that you can adjust, it has the diffuser that keeps this way quieter than the N20. And because of those things, the Eson 2 is probably one of our best selling Fisher & Paykel masks. I think a lot of people just don't know about it. And yeah, so it's my top nasal pick. Also 360 in the front and swivel as well. Eson 2, great choice. Moving on to other nasal masks. Now this is where things get a little bit insignificant because most people aren't going to be people who are saying, I want a cradle mask or I want a pillow mask. What's the best pillow mask? Because there's only like a few to choose from. Most people are going to say, what is the best nasal mask? And I'll talk about that in a minute here. But if you do want the best pillow mask, I can't really pick one. The P10 by ResMed, okay? You got the Solo Pillow by Fisher & Paykel, and the Micro by Fisher & Paykel. Now, each one of these masks have issues, and each one of these masks are great in some aspects. So I'm gonna tell you the pros and cons of all three, and then because I'm forced to do so this is not clickbait, I will choose one. Okay, ResMed P10. Stretchy headgear, very, very nice, very, very minimal. Pillows, very good. Double wall silicone, seal very well. Very good for traveling as well, and comes with the Air Mini. You have to use the Air Mini version of the P10, but at least if you get used to this at home and you get a travel CPAP like the Air Mini, it comes with that machine as well. It doesn't come with it like packaged together, but like you can get the P10 travel variant at least. Cons, let's talk about them. Okay, first of all, it uses this plastic mesh up front here. This plastic mesh does get dirty and then it gets kind of hard to exhale out of. I've heard people like poke holes in it. I don't want to say anything about doing that because we're a company, we don't want to get sued. Therefore, if you're at a higher pressure, you might find that to be the case. Now, in contrary to that, these mesh filters do a very good job at making this mask very quiet. The second con is that this whole thing, this elastic band or this stretch band here, is completely stretchy. There's no real like adjustment straps other than this one to like make it bigger or smaller. So I can make it like bigger if you have a bigger head or tighter if it wears down or you have a smaller head. So you can imagine if I put it on my face here quickly and you move in the night, you turn around, get some water, it comes off your nose, okay? Moving on to the Solo here. This guy here, awesome headgear, one-handed headgear, especially if you have arthritis. I can do it with one hand, just like that. Auto locking technology. There is like 2 cables and locks inside this headgear. You can't see them. As you push it down, it's like a seatbelt gets, pushed, like it goes tighter and tighter, if you will. And that means that when you're pushing on the side, it's a little more structured. It can still come off your nose, but at least if you kind of reposition and push down, it like kind of locks in place. On video, it probably looks similar to a P10 because obviously I'm like pulling it intentionally, but when you are sleeping, it does stay on your face a little bit more because you can tighten it in that fashion. The cons of this mask are it doesn't have a diffuser. So it doesn't have the problem with being hard to exhale because it has a bunch of giant holes up front and no mesh diffuser, no plastic mesh diffuser, nothing. Because of that, people find it to be a louder mask. The other issue with it is because of its very nature, if you are sleeping in a way that like you keep on pushing your head like more and more into the pillow, you might find it getting too tight. But honestly, I think when you like learn to sleep with a CPAP mask, you naturally don't jam your head in the pillow as much. Your body just figures it out. And I don't really hear that much of that issue often, but we have had some comments about it. More so, I think the con with this would be the noise. And then the last thing is the Micro. The Nova Micro is the lightest of the bunch, the smallest of the bunch, and the most flexible, so it's the best for traveling of the bunch. It has a 360 swivel up top, which the others don't have, and down here, which I like. And unlike the P10, you have straps here, so only half the mask is stretchy, the back half is stretchy, but this portion is not stretchy. So you can actually adjust it with this Velcro. It does actually stay on your face a lot better, and you can kind of adjust it accordingly. Now with the cons, again, no real diffuser, just a bunch of holes up front, so it's gonna be louder than the P10. And the small version of this mask, the pillows kind of go more like too much in. Like this is like a known issue where a lot of people who fit the small, like it just pinches like down here of the nose. The small version of this mask is not great. I always recommend for masks like these just to buy the fit pack anyways. But if you have a small nose, if you have a really small nose, this is good. But for those who are normally as small, you might find that the small cushion pillows kind of jet kind of inwards. So let's summarize these 3 pillow masks. P10, best if you don't move around a lot. Very good sealing pillows, but sometimes hard to exhale, sometimes comes off your face. Solo doesn't come off your face as much, a little bit easier to fit and put on and off, but a little bit louder. Micro, the smallest of the bunch, the small size is not great. Overall decent, a little bit louder than the P10 still. Overall, I'm gonna say probably the micro is the best pick actually because it is so small. A lot of people who want this style of mask want the smallest travel mask possible, and it is the smallest travel mask out of this bunch. It is the most minimal, and because it sits on your head a little more structured and doesn't come off as easily as the P10, pretty much has all the perks of the P10 with more advantages, you could say, and it's not that much louder than the P10. It is louder, but you got your CPAP machine on already, and like, you know, you're probably used to snoring a little bit or whatever, so is it that much louder? I don't think so, and I'd rather have it stay on my face a little bit better. Now, that was for the front-mounted variants of pillow mask. Honestly, the best pillow mask, in my opinion, is this guy here, but I didn't want to throw this guy into the other guys. I don't know. There's so many categories with CPAP masks that it's like, it's very hard to categorize them because they're all half the same as the other thing, but half different. Pillow mask, P30i. If you don't mind the top mounted variant, very, very good. I would pick this over the other 3, but that's meaning you want a top mounted variant, which we'll talk about in a minute, okay? So it's a little side note, P30i, very good. Cradle mask, it's gotta be the N30i. This is the Air Fit N30i, also the Air Touch N30i is in the mix, okay? Cradles overall don't seal quite as well, so you have masks like the Solo in the Cradle version and the P10, which is the N30, which is just the P10 in the Cradle version. Both masks, if you're gonna go with those masks, just get the pillow version. The pillow version's better, so there's no point of getting those, in my opinion. I'd pick a P10 over an N30 any day of the week. I would pick the Solo pillow over the Solo Cradle any day of the week, okay? When it comes to other cradles then, I'm kind of left with the N30i, which I think is a good top mounted mask. I like it because you know, there's more up and down. With a cradle mask, you kind of need a little upwards pressure on the nose so it doesn't fall off and leak. And so the N30i does that, just nature of the mask. One of the reasons I like top mounted masks so much is because the rotation point is at the top of the head. So as you roll around, especially if you have a tube hook, no tangles with the tube, which is just elite. And so the N30i fits the cradle category, and it's the best cradle mask in my opinion. Next thing is the best top mounted mask, which I'm staying on the same topic here. Again, it's the N30i. This is just basically the softer version of the N30i Air Fit, the Air Touch version. They're interchangeable. You can use this cradle on the Air Touch version. Overall, this is the best top mounted option. That was a lot of masks. I pretty much said every mask on the market, it seems like. So did I really make this video? Let me narrow it down even further. Best full face mask, F40, for reasons stated. Best nasal mask, over all nasal masks, like all categories, okay, all categories, is none of them. The best nasal mask, in my opinion, and the best CPAP mask, probably overall, in my opinion, is the P30i cushion on the ResMed N30i Air Touch mask. Okay, it's not a mask you can buy. You have to Frankenstein it yourself. Number 1, top mounted variant. Again, keeps tube away from you. Air Touch liner, okay? Really soft. If you have long hair or just hair, it doesn't pull on your hair, okay? It doesn't stick to your hair. It's not annoying like that. It's soft on the side of the cheeks. It leaves no strap marks, okay? Just this side here. You can go on the side, the air will still rush through. Your CPAP machine will keep a constant pressure, so it'll adjust accordingly. Don't worry about it. You can pinch one side, you're fine. The cushion, the N30i AirTouch cushion is cool and all, but like it wears out faster and like it kind of slips on your nose because it's a microfiber material. Okay, so I'm editing this video and I realize that it is a little bit more of an expensive option, so I just want to put my recommendation on this. I think buying the frame and the cushion is going to be a little more expensive, the AirTouch frame and the P30i cushion. I would still buy the N30i AirTouch mask as a whole and get the AirTouch cushion and then buy the P30i cushion on the side. And if you do that, you kind of get two masks. I always recommend having a relief mask to help your dry skin or your nostrils from the pillows heal. And therefore, you can use the N30i AirTouch cushion as a kind of a relief mask, maybe once a week to allow your skin to heal up a little bit, and then use your P30i cushion for most of the time. The reason why I wouldn't use the N30i AirTouch cushion all the time is because ResMed says you have to replace it more because it's that microfiber material. And so it's even more expensive if you're using that full time. So I would use it like once a week and use the P30i cushion more often. And that being said, the reason why I'm recommending this in the first place is because the P30i, I think, is just a better sealing cushion. I think you're gonna have less leaks. I think it's gonna be coming out of your nose less and you're just gonna have better therapy. But the AirTouch frame is just so comfy and so good, it's almost a no-brainer. I hope you found this video useful and have a good day.